Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home.
Let's go, bub. Hello there, gang, and welcome to Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest video podcast. I'm going to drop that voice now because if I keep that going, I'm going to have to give up after about 2 minutes. It'll be a very short video. Folks, you can see what this video is all about. Well, you knew that when you saw the thumbnail. This is an unboxing review of the Hasbro 1-to-1 full-sized Wolverine prop replica cosplay cowl. I don't think all those names are in the title, but if I listed them all off, I'm bound to get some of them right. So Hasbro reached out to me. They said, Dave, would you like us to send you a cowl? You can do a review on it. And I was like, free stuff? Yeah, absolutely. It's really sweet because for 5.5 years I've been doing this channel and people have often said, wow, Dave, we really appreciate the fact that you don't just shill for Hasbro. You call it like you see it. They don't just send you free stuff for you to say nice things about. And I'm like, yeah, you're darn right. When of course we all knew that the simple answer was they had never offered. I did make that very clear. I was like, lads, I would shill if they asked me to, but they haven't until now. But this is where the turntables, because I'm going to be straight up and honest about my thoughts on this. And I thought the best way of doing it, of field testing it, is to actually wear it while I'm doing this review. So I'm going to intersplice? Yes, Dave, run with that. I'm going to intersplice and intersperse different bits of footage, some from another YouTuber, while I'm talking about it so that you can see what it is that we're discussing. So first of all, the overall, just straight out of the box look of it, great, actually really good. I thought it might be a little bit plasticky. It ain't. What's actually here is a hefty, quite heavy, I must say, quite heavy, solid, sturdy bit of kit. There's nothing too kind of flimsy plasticky about it. I'm kind of jumping ahead though. I'm putting the cart before the horse. I'm not a rabbit and you're not a frog, so let's not jump ahead. The box itself is nice presentation. Even though I have taken it out of the box already, I can still show you what it's all about, what it looks like, and it's a very nice Wolverine-themed box. You got the photography on there, the nice logos, and when you get this out, it comes in different parts and pieces. And again, I should have filmed myself putting this together. I didn't because I'm an excitable man-child. Now, one thing I just realized, this is pressing on my nose a bit. So I'm wondering if my speech is coming out a bit nasally. In fact, having said that, I wonder if this is going to disrupt the sound of the audio overall. I'm going to take this off. To play it safe, I'm going to take it off. But I have been wearing it for, about 2-3 minutes there? So I can give you some information. The first bit being that I was feeling it on my nose. It wasn't uncomfortable, it wasn't painful, but there was weight. Because that's a good thing and a bad thing, I suppose. You want there to be weight because you want to feel like you're owning something that is actually well put together. Because this is about $100, give or take. It depends on where you shop around. So if you just got a light, flimsy piece of plastic like a Halloween mask, you'd be pretty annoyed. This, as I said before, this is solid and sturdy. Rather than plastic, it almost feels kind of rubbery, but we'll get to that later. What I am saying, first of all, is that it comes in kind of like 3 different sections or 3 different types of pieces. You've got the yellow head cone, we will call it, the yellow helmet. Then you've got the fins, of course, which encompass the eyes as well. And then you've got the mutton chops, I'll call them. You got the mutton chops at the side here. Now, what you got to do, and it's funny because I watched another review of this and the reviewer made the same mistake I did. You got to attach the side pieces to the wings first before you attach the wings to the helmet. Because if you attach the wings first, you can't get these little guys in. And it's very annoying. And then you have to try and like edge these out. But these are not designed to be removed once they click in place. They can be, but I actually had to dunk this in hot water to like soften up the rubber. And it's not going to do it any favors. So really, this is designed to be put together once. All right. It took a long time and a lot of kid gloves for me to take these off, then attach these, then put it back together without stressing or straining anything. So word to the wise, that's the way you do it. But then once it is all clipped in place, by heck golly, it does look rather nice. That's the first sight test right there. And also, of course, it comes with a stand too. This is the more plasticky side of things, whereas this is the nice, heavy, sort of rubber-coated, heavier, solid thing. The stand is a little bit fimbly-bimbly, I feel. It's adequate, though, for the job it's doing. I feel like the $110, $115 you're paying for the cowl, that's where all the money went. This is very much just a tool with which to display it. Kind of like me. So it comes in 3 parts. You put it together and that's it. But really, no bells and whistles, I feel. It's very functional. But hey, when you got the cowl sat on it, that's all that really matters, isn't it? So I'm going to pop that back over there because there's not really too much to speak about. And then, as I said, once you got the cowl together, it does look real nice, okay? So first of all, just the design is straight out of the movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. There you go. That one-to-one likeness. But unfortunately, one-to-one also goes for the size as well. You can see my head, I'm very aware of the fact I got a bit of a peanut head. My head's quite slim and quite tall. So there's a lot of air at the sides here. I feel I would kind of like it if there was a chin strap so that you could pull the sides in so that you could lose the space between the cheeks, because that's like, I'm very aware that these are just kind of like hanging here. One of the reviews I watched, though, the dude heated these up, I imagine very carefully with a heat gun, and sort of just guided them towards his face so they kind of met the sides of his cheeks a bit better. And that is one solution you can do. But also, I've been finding from wearing this, it does start to like rock around a little bit. It rocks around the clock tonight. So if you put a little bit of extra padding inside, that'll probably solve that for you. Again, you're not going to tailor make these. You're going to try and do one size fits all. So they're catering for people with slightly wider, bigger melon heads. Whereas me, not so much. But even then, that notwithstanding, I still think I shouldn't keep talking while turning my head from the camera. That's a terrible thing to do. Can't hear what I'm saying. But when I look around and move about, it wibbles and wobbles a little bit, but not terribly. Considering that Hasbro trying to make one thing to fit everybody's head, I think they've done a pretty good compromise right there. So the look is terrific, and the size is what it needs to be, I feel, to fit everyone. Then with the actual details on the sculpt, that's a lovely bit of work right there. A lovely bit of business, if you will, because all the battle damage on the fins, that's been pretty painstakingly applied. It's not uniform on either side, so it's not just doubled up. It's all individually carved and painted. Actually, I say carved. That's an interesting thing to note. It is, yes. I was wondering, is it carved? Yep, you've got little dings and scratches here that actually are indented into the fins. I kind of like that. Nice work, lads. Nice work. So that's really great. And then you've got the scraped away paint as well. It makes it look more real. I think if it was all just pristine, then it would look a bit Halloween costumey. This looks lived in. It looks like a movie prop, which is what you want. Similarly, the actual texture on the top here, very kind of, I don't know, like Kevlar or some kind of a crisscross material. It makes it feel more legit again. So I really do appreciate that. So, I mean, I think that the material, it's kind of plastic, but it feels sort of rubbery. as well. It's probably a plasto poly mesh of something. I don't know, but it's very effective. Wouldn't use it as a crash helmet, but it allows for some slight movement. So it'll balance on your head and not feel too heavy, but also be pretty sturdy. Also, the painting's nice. They've done a good job with the little bit of the darker detail along the seams to make those feel a bit more worn in. Plus, like, it's kind of funky, but in a good sort of way. It genuinely feels like Wolverine has been wearing this, fighting bad guys, and sweating. Because this looks like sweat's griminess. And you like a bit of grime with your Wolverine. Or at least I do, personally. So the darker paint in here is really effective. Now, a big thing to answer for you is the eyes. What's the vision like? The vision is probably better than you might think. It depends on whether or not you've ever worn masks like this before. Because I think it's incredibly effective that you can't see the peepers through here. Jeepers creepers, where did you put those peepers? Well, they are here. They're just behind the mask, and it's very effective in covering those up. But yeah, if you're at a con, if you're walking around a convention hall, you'll probably be fine. You'll be able to see, like, it is kind of blurry. Like, don't try reading anything. Even like a text message on your phone, that's going to be quite difficult. I'm quite used to this sort of view because I used to wear lucha libre masks when I was wrestling all the time. I was part of the UK Thunder Dragons. Me and just about every other person who has ever wrestled in the UK. We've all been Thunder Dragons at one point or another in Butlins. So I'm used to that kind of blurred vision. But if you're not, I think you will get used to it pretty quickly. So that's really effective. That gives you a good look as well. And then on the inside, you can see there's a little bit of foam up at the top, but it's not a huge amount. So as I said, it does, you're aware of it after a little while. And most of all, on the nose. To make a little point on the nose, you're aware of it on the nose. I wonder if you can see. I was only wearing it for a couple of minutes, but certainly after a couple of minutes of having this and talking and walking and moving around, and like if I was at a convention, eventually I would want to take it off. But then again, I've got quite a pointy nose as well. But this is just Dave going over his personal neuroses. But yeah, I wouldn't want to have it on for too long without maybe putting like a little bit of padding on the nose there to give me a little bit more comfort. All of that being said, though, I think this is great because I'm not a prop guy. I'm not a cosplay guy. I'm just a dude who likes cool stuff. So with that being the case, this up on its pedestal, I think it's a great accessory prop to have in your den, in your man cave. You can rest assured this is going to be on display on the model behavior backdrop for a long, long time because I really do love it. The fact that and again, this is more of a compliment to the designers of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. The fact that it is so accurate to the comics while also being beautifully translated to be practical in the movie sense in the real world. Chef's kiss. Bravo. I'd give you a round of applause, but my hands are kind of busy right now. Also, I do love, I knew that there was another point I wanted to make. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I love the colors as well. The colors, children. Hey. There was always debate in the comic book sphere about Wolverine's fins and whether or not they were blue or black. And I think that they found the perfect compromise. They are a deep, deep, deep blue, I would say, almost black, or a dark kind of chrome. I don't know, but whatever color it is, it works. In light outside, in the sun, it shines with a little bit of a blue kind of tint. But then in more flat kind of areas and lighting, you've got more of a black kind of feeling to it. So you really do get the best of both worlds. And that's kind of wonderful. And folks, that does it.
Let's
My
go,
in-hand
Bub.
review of the Wolverine 1-to-1 cowl. I really dig it. I'm not going to say that I'm going to start collecting 1-to-1 prop replicas, although the Doctor Doom mask does look pretty nice. But Don't tempt me. But this Wolverine cowl, yeah, good job, guys. I'm very impressed with it. Would I want to wear it for a long, long period of time? Nah, I don't think so. But then again, I am a very vain creature. You don't want to take the moneymaker out of the game for too long. Am I right or am I right? But gang, what do you think about these cowls or about any of the prop replicas? Do you collect them? Do you wear them? Comment below and let me know. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep displaying model behavior.
Coffee. Big time.